Welcome to the podcast where all your media wishes are granted. You'll have VIP access to thought leaders in business, media, publishing, and more. Let's kick it with Julie Lokun and the Mediacasters.
I need to be inspired. I am home with my 4 children and doing the things, doing the laundry. And I truly am an entrepreneur at heart. And I wanted to be inspired. So I needed to get the most inspirational person I know here in front of me. And that is, I like to refer to him as Double R, but his real name is Ramon Ray. And he is the author of Celebrity CEO. He has an incredible brand called Zone of Genius, which I want to know how he even got the URL for Zone of Genius, because I'm always trying to figure people out. He's a writer. He's traveling all the time. He is creating content 24/7. I had the honor of meeting him at Vcon with Gary Vaynerchuk, and he just lit up the room. And you were a magnet. And I remember you telling me, Ramon, when we met, that there's so much power in just saying hello. So welcome and hello, Ramon Ray.
Hello, Julie, and thank you for having me here. Thanks for seeing value in me to share something with your community. So glad to be here. And you were a shining light in Vcon and a master of connectivity and connecting dots. That's what I best remember of you.
I think people underestimate the power of creating relationships outside of yourself, introducing Ramon to this person or this person. I feel like that's even more powerful than just you being introduced to somebody.
Yeah. And just when we were in the room with Connected, you know, your client friends, you know, in their app and other things like this, I met several people in the room itself. So that's a master connector. I met Tax Hive.
Oh, yeah.
And I met the
Sean.
guy with bulging muscles who I told I do 50 push-ups a day. And he humbly and nicely said, I did 1,000 today. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that would be G.I. Joe Greg Birch, right?
Yes. That.
Funny. Can you even remember all the people you meet? Do you really remember the people you meet? No.
But those who I make an impression on, you know, for sure, who make an impression on me. Absolutely. Me and Greg had some time together. He shared his story and he has a lot of muscles. It made an impression.
A lot of muscles. I also remember I had a little meet and greet at the Tastings Wine Bar when we first got there. And I remember you were tired and you were ready to leave. And then one of my best friends was like, hey, can we talk? And you spent another hour or hour and a half with these people. I'm like, that is a good human being right there.
That's right. The lady on the left does financial services. The lady in front of me had something for the Hispanic crowd. And the lady on the right was a mindset coach. I remember.
Wow. Look at that. So where have you been? What are you doing? And what is your zone of genius? Because I think everybody is looking to tap into their zone of genius and you get so lost in the day-to-day. Like, what do I need to be doing?
I think I have a few zones of genius, but tell me, Julie, if this is distilled into one. I have a feeling it is, but I don't know. One, I take broad concepts and I can distill them into the essence of it. Not like a Socrates, but it's just blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you take a hamburger and flip it and you sell it, right? Yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, so I can do that very well. And I think that comes through with my blogs. High-end concepts, I take notes well, and I can distill it. So that's one. Number 2, definitely connecting with people. Just a smile, the friendliness. I mean, that's not fake, but I like people. Number 3 is connecting dots. Like, oh, Julie said this, and she has a friend did this. I'm doing an event here. How can we do this? So those are a few things, and they could all be focused in one, but those are my few zone of geniuses.
Wow. That's amazing. I just see people walking through life, doing what they're expected to do. And you did that too, I believe. You kind of way back when, and you can tell us the story of you at the United Nations and how that air quotes failure turned into where you are today.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it clearly. I was in New York City and I needed a part-time job or a job right out of high school, I believe it was, or going into college part-time. And a lady in my church said, Ramon, you can apply to the UN. They hire part-timers for the UN General Assembly, as many of your audience may know, in September when all the heads of state come. So I applied, I got the job, and I was an administrative clerk, a secretary in essence, for a number of years until I was promoted to be an administrative officer in management, as it were. So I was there for a number of years, over 10 years, until I was fired. My contract wasn't renewed because of some jealousy. Somebody didn't like me. They made a big stink about me having a side business.
Couldn't like you.
Well, that's possible. Trust me. They didn't like what I had done, put it that way, that I had got the job. And so they made a big stink about it. my contract wasn't renewed. Great time there, even though the office I was in was a bit dysfunctional. The time was great. But I must say, Julie, I don't know, sometimes I don't connect a dot to it, but I can't help but think over those years, me being with heads of state, learning international decorum, you talk about true diversity in the UN, not kind of this fake stuff we do in America. Oh, there's 10 white people. We got to have 3 black guys. All that stuff we do here. But in the UN, it's truly diverse. Like, you know, so yeah, it was a good time. Good experience.
That's fascinating. And there's something about you, and people must know this. There's this like spark within you that draws people to you just because you are unapologetically positive. But I know that you can't maintain positivity at all times, right? You're the founder of Breakfast with Champions, and that is a Clubhouse app, if you know Clubhouse Social, and it is the premier. That was the first room or house or club or whatever I visited 2 years ago, and I was hooked. But I did hear some dude like kind of come up and heckle you, and I don't know. I know you. This might not be a lot, but they said, "Why don't you let me sit? I'm supposed to be sitting at your table. Why don't you let me speak?" And I was like, how can they be doing that to my double R? Like, he's the nicest guy ever. But how do you deal with that? Like,
sure,
because you do always have a positive spin on everything.
And let me unpack what I think happened, Julie. What I think happened.
Remember that?
3 things. I do remember 3 things I think happened. I invited him to speak as my nature, because it's Clubhouse, you know, audio app, and that's what people do, speak. I invite him to speak. My rushness, so partly me, but my sense of showmanship and media was that he was going a bit too long, and I felt energy moving. He did nothing wrong. He's a regular person. I'm a show person. So I just felt, okay, he's had his show. It's getting a bit long. Time to kind of move on. Like you would see on TV, like when the person, they say, Julie, tell us about the economy. You're going on a bit, you know, you're the regular person. And they're like, okay, great. Kind of the signal, need you to move on here. So I was doing that to him. And I think 3, because maybe he had some issues with him, not horrible, but maybe he had a few, you know, social issues. It rubbed him wrong, and he said it. So I think that's what happened. But in the end, after I came down, I dove under, as you may have heard. I apologized, and I said, I stepped back. He then stepped back too, and we left probably as good friends. So those are 4 elements that I can remember happening.
So you learned diplomacy, if you will, working at the United Nations.
Yeah, because he wasn't evil. He wasn't, if he would have done something sour, but I just felt he was going a bit long, and he probably felt a bit rushed. And I had to understand that. That's me. Sometimes maybe I can be a bit too short.
Well, this is what happens when you become famous. Seriously, when you become recognized, there's always someone that will criticize you or come down on you hard or has some jealousy. And you're becoming kind of famous in my eyes. You're everywhere, Ramon. Seriously. And
I do good self-promotion.
You do self-promotion. How does this machine work? That is the Ramon Ray machine, the Zone of Genius, the Celebrity CEO, and my Celebrity CEO, my book.
I love it. Yes.
That I'm holding up. My dogs ate the front cover. So
the dog has a piece of, we'll show it together. How about that?
Yeah. So, but I still can read it.
Yes, indeed.
I was lounging and reading it because it's a really awesome book.
I'm on. Well, it works 4 ways. Ramon is a motivational speaker and keynote speaker. So I work at very large brands, large events to host their event, MC their event, or keynote speak at their events. That's 1. Number 2, I'm the publisher of zoneofgenius.com, which is a startup. And like many media companies, that will be sponsored content, events, and things of that nature. That's 2. And then Celebrity CEO, yes, is a book, but it is a community and our coaching platform of where we help small business owners build personal brands through being a celebrity CEO. So those are the 3 main things that Ramon Ray does.
And what do you mean by we? Do you have a team of coaches that work with you?
Not a team of coaches yet. I probably will build to that. But when I say we, I have a team of 3 or 4 who work with me on a variety of things, content, serving our clients. I work with large clients like Zoho, help them produce content as well. So yeah, I have a team.
Wow. So you are doing it all. It really comes down to using your voice to make an impact in many different ways. And so many people I've talked to, they have such a fear of using their voice in a conversation, and especially on stages, you know, and you're on stages, how many days a year? Like 100 days?
Not enough.
Not enough. What is your dream stage to be on? Like, who do you want to speak for?
I don't know if I have a dream stage.
Just your stage.
Yeah, well, here's what I would like, Julie. So I think I've been after Vcon. Oprah is about equivalent of that. Brene Brown, I've been not with her, but you know, the equivalent I've been to. So, but for me, I would just love my own national TV show, or to be a part of a bigger brand that promotes it more. I would love to reach tens of thousands in one half-an-hour clip on some, the Reuters small business show, the Associated Press rundown with Ramon, the MSNBC Good Day America, the something like that. I believe I have the talent. It's just if I knew somebody that could connect me and help me get there, that would be wonderful. And sometimes they're closer to you than you think.
My wheels are turning right now. Why do you have a prototype for a show? Have you recorded anything?
I probably should. I should probably take the time to do this. I have because I've been so much in media, I haven't thought that, hey, I need to do a formal show, but I probably should. But yes, I've done shows. I have the rundown with Ramon I do right now at Black Enterprise. I was on a show called Rise and Grind, and I have so much content, but not
with
the
Glenn
formal.
Lundy?
Yes. Yes. So number of shows.
Oh my God, that is so fantastic. Do you have a sizzle reel already? I mean, you must have a sizzle reel. Please tell me.
Yes, of me speaking, but I think what I don't have is I think what the networks need, they want to know, tell us exactly what you're going to do, produce that. So I probably should take the time.
Why not Zone of Genius? Why isn't it called Zone of Genius, your show?
Well, the name is not relevant, meaning the name is not
okay, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the name is not relevant. I just, the magic for how I see it is Ramon Ray is the talent associated with the Fox show, CNN show, MSNBC show, Cheddar show, Reuters, whatever the existing brand is. We want this guy to do a 30-minute show on our platform. That's what I'm saying.
So, but I love that. I love that you are still dreaming, and you are the youngest looking 50-year-old I've ever seen. So we're exactly the same age. I'm like, he looks like he's 25. What the heck?
I just came from a workout.
Oh, you did? I ran this morning really early, but that you still are dreaming at 50 years old, that you still think that there is something next, something big, and celebrating that on stages of all varieties. Tell me a little bit about the Zone of Genius Awards.
Sure. Zone of Genius Awards, the Entrepreneur Conference and Awards will take place April 18th and 19th in New York City. Featuring Seth Godin. And we already have a lineup of amazing attendees who will be there, such as Julie will be there as well.
I'm going to be there, guys. Silver. Sign up.
That's right. Claude Silver, CMO of VaynerMedia. As I already mentioned, Seth Godin and a number of other amazing. Precious Williams. She was on Shark Tank, an amazing multi-time pitch contestant winner. So this is an award and a conference to celebrate entrepreneurial success. Wow. If you want to rub shoulders with successful entrepreneurs, if you want to learn from successful entrepreneurs, if you want to be in the room with people who are like Seth Godin, Claude Silver, Julie, it's an event you want to attend. zoneofgenius.com/awards.
No, that's amazing, because I've been thinking about this and really thinking about saying this in air quotes, the circles I run in, and taking a deeper look at that. You want to make sure those 5 people, or I was just talking with someone, or your board of directors, if you will, those 5 people that you could call on at any time, that they're pushing you to be better, higher, maybe even bigger than those that are just telling you, you're great, you're awesome, just the way you are, or even maybe you suck. It's like having the right people around you. And that just sounds like that's what you're building.
Yeah, I'm trying. And it's funny. It's interesting you said that, Julie, because just today I was doing a show and I talked about the same thing. There was a famous clip from Steve Harvey. I'm sure you've seen it. If not,
yeah, I was listening this morning, actually.
Oh, yes. Okay. About the flea, and flea is jumped 30 feet or 30 million miles. And if there's a top on it, they start to adjust that. So yes, I think who you surround yourself with is so important. And even going back to events, Vcon, Julie, I'm realizing that I like the events I've been at for years, but there's another scale, another level of events that Ramon Ray needs to start playing into.
Well, you were on stage with Gary Vaynerchuk. I mean, on Vcon, which is incredible. I mean,
and before that as well. I can do a whole
you have pictures in your book too. I'm like, he knows a lot of people. Like, a lot of people, but it's because you are unabashedly, unapologetically positive, and you say hello to everybody. And I think that's the key. Is there anybody that you wouldn't say hello to, or that you are adverse to?
No, I'd say hi. I mean, my caution would only be, sadly, we are in a cancel world. I took a picture with, I'll just say it right now, because I don't think I'll be canceled for this. I took a picture with Roger Stone, who is President Trump's kind of dude, a close ally with him. And Roger Stone was banned from Facebook for whatever reason. I didn't realize it. And I posted a picture, didn't even mention his name because I understood the political implications. I took a picture with a famous political guy today. I was banned for 48 hours from Facebook, shut down within seconds. Now, the robots probably saw it. It wasn't human. Since he was banned, I was banned by association. I get it. But my point being, no, I would have a conversation with anybody. Case in point, if a black guy can go to lunch with a KKK member I don't know if you've seen that story, CNN, a guy, and they became friends. They disagreed on things, but they had lunch together.
Wow.
And this, Julie, is what the world's about. Why can't we, at least, we should be able to converse, Julie, about anything with reasonable people. If nobody's spitting on me or, doing harm to me, Julie thinks that, hey, Ramon, red shirts are no good. Okay, let's talk about it. I think you're wrong. You think I'm wrong. We can still be friends. That's the attitude I have.
Wow. Sounds like you should get into politics as well, sir.
I heard that before, and that's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
No, ma'am.
It's fascinating just making those choices, but I think you're changing the world with your platform, with elevating the zone of genius in everybody and everybody has the ability to be a celebrity CEO. So as we wrap up, I'm going to ask you your advice. What should I do? What should I do personally to be a celebrity CEO or
I think
attract that?
Sure. I think, why do you want to be that? And you and/or those listening, ask yourself, why do you want to be that? Are you better being a connector and behind the scenes in a way and still being well-known behind the scenes? Or do you want to be front-facing? That's number one. If you decide to be front-facing, my claim to fame, how I do it, I have an overwhelming amount of content that I produce, and I'm the ultimate self-promoter. I self-promote things like Inbound, the big event that HubSpot does. Inbound rejected Ramon. I do blog posts about rejection. That's how much I self-promote myself.
That's genius.
I'm the guy who would ask the girl to marry him and do a whole blog post. She said no. Look, I'm on bended knee. She walked away in tears and put her hand up and said no. That's the kind of guy I am.
Wow. That's fascinating. I love that. But you are seeing different vantage points of your story, and that is where you make the magic happen. I can just tell you see opportunities where nobody else sees opportunities. And I'm definitely behind the scenes. I mean, you probably think I'm in front of the scenes because I'm sitting here on a show here with you, but I really love elevating other people's voices as opposed to being like center stage. So,
and also, Julie, though, in PR, what you do, and you and I are just getting to know each other, but I do think you can be well known, but a good publicist, she doesn't have to have her own book, her own video and all that. She has to work her celebrity, though, a different way, where I'm front facing in front of the camera. Yeah, sure. She's the one who was in the ballroom before everybody got there, quietly talked to the president's staff, hooked up her client. Nobody even knows she was there. It's a different type of being celebrity.
I like that. I like that kind of celebrity. So we're all have a little bit of a celebrity within us. Ramon's amazing. I'm going to put all the links so you can check out Zone of Genius Awards, the Zone of Genius website, Celebrity CEO, everything Celebrity CEO, because R, Ramon Ray is amazing. Ramon, thank you so much for being here. You inspire me and your energy is electric. Thank you Julie. And keep just doing you and being so amazing. I'm grateful for you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Mediacasters. You can keep this conversation going and kick in live office hours each week. Visit themediacasters.mn.co to sign up. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe whenever you listen. Let's kick in.